Good morning. I woke up to the sound of birds and it's about 8 a.m. I was in my bed for about 8 hours, but according to my watch, I only slept for about 4 or 5 of those hours. Thumbs up for the Van Gogh Night Star 250. I was perfectly warm enough last night. My face was cold, that's the only problem. But I probably could have pulled the drawstring. I could have probably cocooned myself in a little bit more. But I already felt quite restricted in the mummy sleeping bag. I prefer a rectangular sleeping bag so that I can use it as a quilt. In the warmer months I'll just zip it open, flip it around so it's on top of me only, so I'm not at all restricted. I'm a side sleeper, so I do move from one shoulder to the other shoulder throughout the night, which with mummy sleeping bags can be a problem. This one's extra wide and it doesn't really taper until right down towards the feet, so yeah, I thought it was worth giving it a go. And I don't regret it, because I was toasty warm all night. It got down to about -2 last night, according to Google. So yeah, and I didn't feel it at all. I really didn't. My whole body was perfectly warm. Excellent. Yeah, only my nose. My nose always gets cold. My nose was cold. I did pull up my scarf throughout the evening. I do have a hat as well. Okay, well, good morning. Here's to another great day. Busy day today, lots of things to do. It's early, it's cold, I'm sleepy. It's time for a cup of tea. What do you think? Tea, Yorkshire tea, can't go wrong. Proper strong English tea. So beautiful and so warm as well. Boiling hot, too hot to touch really. Just setting up the tea, my hands became almost numb from the cold. It's interesting, the last time I was here there was frost on the ground in the morning and my tarp was covered in a shiny, sparkling layer of frost. It's not the case now, because it is 3 or 4 degrees warmer than it was then, about a month ago. That's the one. I'd like to settle a debate on tea versus coffee. For me, I'm extremely torn on this. Tea is comforting. Tea is home for me. There's almost something ancestral about drinking tea, especially on a cold morning like this. There's nothing like the beautiful, leafy, bitter smell of tea at this time of the morning, or at any time, frankly. I do love a cup of tea. Tea is just something different. It hits deeper for me. However, I absolutely love coffee. I first discovered coffee properly when I was about 18 in Australia, actually. The standards of coffee in Australia was far better than anything I had experienced in the UK. I worked in a coffee shop, like a sandwich coffee shop, from a young age, like 15 probably. The standard wasn't great. The taste was pretty awful. When I went to Australia, I discovered that coffee there it blew my mind. It was incredible. Things like the flat white were just becoming really popular there, and yeah, that just took things to a new level. And yeah, I was hooked from that point, really. I studied at university in Italy for a year as an Erasmus student, and of course the coffee there, just that solidified in my mind that coffee was one of the greatest things in the world. Of course, the caffeine hit from a coffee I think is more significant than from a tea. There's something in sipping an espresso that doesn't compare to a cup of tea at all. Tea is obviously so heavily diluted. The coffee is so pure and rich, and the flavour is so deep. I didn't realise that coffee could taste fruity and sweet, and not at all bitter. Because I know many people that don't drink coffee because of its bitterness. And it just doesn't have to be that way. There are many softer and more vibrant, like wilder options. I think in some ways I'm more passionate about coffee, but tea has a place in my heart. It's where I've come from. I feel like I have a connection to tea that's different. I can't describe it. If you get it, you get it. So put it in the comments below. Tea or coffee? Hello and good morning again. Come for a walk. I wanted in each video to express some gratitude. I think starting the day with some positive messages and some perspective. So I want to express gratitude to someone in my life, and then someone in the YouTube world. Perhaps somebody that's inspired me to start a channel. So in my life, I can only start at one place, and that's my daughter. Lydia is 4 years old, and she gives my life meaning. She's my best little friend. And she's the light of my life. Yeah, she makes life worth living for me, and I've never been so in love as I am with my daughter. Within the YouTube world, probably the most popular man for camping and that side of life on YouTube. There are many before him that inspired him to do the things that he does, and to be the kind of authentic, genuine, sincere type of YouTuber. And of course it's Steve Wallis. He's the man. What I most enjoy about Steve is just how real he is. There's a myriad of YouTubers with a far bigger production value, and some of them are amazing, and I'll talk about many of them in future videos, because I take my hat off to the level of commitment that people put into the work they do here. Steve, I think, is the essence of what it's all about. You know, he's pure, unadulterated Steve. There's no agenda, there's no motive, there's no sponsorship, you know, there's no of course it's monetized, but I don't think that's really important to Steve. He has an incredible number of subscribers, but I think he'd be just as happy if he had 100 and those people enjoyed his videos. The message is, you got to just keep it real, be authentic, and yeah, just be you. Steve is just Steve, and we love him for it. Sounds strange. I'm conscious that I've described my love for Steve for about 2 minutes, and I spoke about the most important person in my life, my daughter, for about 30 seconds. So if you don't already, take a moment in your day to show some gratitude, express some thanks. And it's a helpful reminder that even when times are tough, there are some really important people out there, whether they're people that we know within our own lives or just people that inspire us to keep going. Have a great day, everyone. There's an excellent setup here for some breakfast, but I know a far nicer spot away from the road, just a little further over there. Let's go. Could be beautiful. That could be an amazing home. I wonder why they were built and not lived in. I wonder what the story is. One-litre jerry can, grip handles, fabada asturiana, like a bean sausage stew, I suppose, but surprisingly tasty. Wooden spoon, some extra chorizo, open L8, slice that bad boy up. My special spice mix, which I'll go into on another occasion, but has all of your standard household spices. And of course, lighter. And he's out again, the Primus. I admire the dedication. I saw people out here cycling at 8 o'clock this morning. Fair play to them, but yeah, no thanks. Ready to eat. It's tastier than it looks, I promise. I think camping down there wouldn't be an option, but a bivvy bag perhaps, or a tarp.